Hey, how you doing? This is George with Truck Driver Nation. And what we're going to go over now is this is going to be, since you're actually dealing with Truck Driver Nation, we actually source the leads that you use. So it'll help you obviously get your owner operators quicker, or even because oh my goodness, we do dispatching. So our dispatch program, which we teach and we instruct. And then in addition, we also do driver recruiting. But this is going to be concerning the actual freight dispatching side for those that are converting over to freight dispatching. Now, in securing your owner operators, the lead outreach strategy, this is going to be for people, whether you're new or you're old, but this is the way we give it to you so you can utilize it. So here we go. Truck Driver Nation provides lead sourcing to help you jumpstart your dispatch service. Without these leads, you don't have nothing. You still got to put out advertising money and everything. That's the reason we highly stress that what we provide you is a key to success. Um, there are lots of ways you can source these drivers, including like the image behind me. You literally can go to the truck stops and sit there and walk around, but going during the heat of the day would be dumb 101. Going early in the morning would not be a good idea neither. Um, there's probably not going to get a lot of interaction. Usually in the evening, when people come in, their day's done, they're going to take a shower, they're going to eat, and they're in a lot better mindset to some degree, even though they're dog tired because the day is done. Especially on the weekends for those that are going to be laid over. But it just depends on the mindset. So if you've got some big truck stops, those little moderate ones, medium ones, little quick fuel stations, those ain't worth crap. You need a big one with a lot of slots for the trucks to park in. But anyways, um, however you want to approach these leads, will determine your success. So here's what you need to know. Now, how to approach owner operator leads. Be professional and direct. I cannot overemphasize you need to be direct. These boys ain't in no mood for this ain't like you're calling and some teenager answers at somebody's house. These people are very serious about what they're doing. They've got their families and everything else back at the house, and they're out there working their butts off. So introduce yourself confidently as a freight dispatcher looking to help them maximize revenue and reduce downtime. Anybody can offer that exact same service, okay? You're going to have some things in there that actually make you stand out above the rest. And if with us, the Truck Driver Nation, the things that I have that we offer our owner operators is because we just happen to have these in our hands since we are driver recruiters. So, for example, let's start out. The first thing I would literally tell somebody is like, look, my name is George. I'm with Truck Driver Nation. I have a freight dispatch service. I would love the opportunity to board you with me to give me the opportunity to maximize your gross revenue. And in these things, some of the different factors, because I tell it be straight, that anybody can offer this service just as well as I'm doing. What makes me stand out above them is one, my years of experience in the logistics industry and the services that I offer you free of charge. So let me offer you first these services that are free of charge. Let's see if that it actually works for you to make you more inclined to give us an opportunity to dispatch you. Okay. And then I would go through what I have because we offer quite a few services that are absolutely free that nobody else offers because it benefits them. Now, it may not benefit everybody because remember, this whole thing is going to be a numbers game when you're dealing with this. Now, provide your value up front, explain how your dispatching services help them to stay loaded, get better rates, and avoid wasting time on paperwork and negotiations. Keep it short, use concise text or messages to clearly state who you are, what you offer, and why it's worth their time to talk to you. Because remember, the way that I teach people is not doing a million phone calls. You've got technology at your hands. You learn how to utilize what you have in your hands. Number one is texting. 47% of people instantly answer their text, or even if they don't answer, they're looking at it. Compared to emails, it's something like 17%. So you can see the big difference. And follow up. Many drivers won't respond on the first message, so you need to follow up 2 to 3 times over a few days before moving on. If you press them too hard and do it like every hour, it's going to piss them off. Okay. They may be having one hell of a bad day. Okay. But like they always say, strike the iron while it's hot. So make sure that you stay on them and answer them immediately if they engage, or if you send out text messages and they engage, answer them quickly. Um, let's see what we got. The next is going to be, give me 1 second. The next thing is going to be is basically how many messages are you going to need to send? I hate to tell you, it's a lot. Okay. On average, we send out over 10,000 messages in a month, and that's just, I'm a small team. Okay. And way they charge for this messaging is going to be for outbound, okay, SMS, and MMS, which is media messaging. That's actually a different charge. So you got to look at whatever text service you're using, and you're going to need bulk texting, or you're never going to get this done and knocked out of the way. If you're using a phone, obviously just use like Google Messages that could help you as you move along. If you just don't have a lot of um, resources at that given point to be able to get bulk texting, like on a VoIP, which is a voice over internet protocol. Look at the different ways that you're going to have to access this. But in addition, even though I'm pushing text, if you have to send out emails, do it. But remember, once you start sending out a lot of emails, it has a tendency of turning to spam, and then it no longer becomes beneficial. Even if you're using a service that says, well, we got this email messaging service, it still turns to spam. And they're lying to you if they tell you they're not. I haven't seen nobody out there that has a service that does that, that makes it where the emails do not turn to spam. And if you know something, please let us know. That would definitely help us out. But from everything that we've done and experienced, it all turns to spam. So, anyways, on average, it takes anywhere according to the information based on what you're needing, because because since we're doing driver recruiting and freight dispatch training, ours is a little bit different. But just you as a startup freight dispatcher, it's going to probably be somewhere between 500 and 1,000 outbound text messages to secure your first 5 to 7 owner operators, and expect about a 10 to 15% response rate out of that 500 to 1,000. So if you got 1,000, 15% is going to be 150. Okay. And that's on the high end on both of them, right? Um, and from those, around only 1 to 2% may convert to an active client if you follow up properly and present yourself professionally. Okay, you get the numbers? Let's go over those numbers one more time so you get it. That's 500 to 1,000 sending out text. Out of that, 10 to 15% engaging you to say, yes, tell me more. Out of that, only 1 to 2% actually turning into an owner operator that wants to use your dispatch services. And that's having it on spot. That's the reason I'm telling you, it takes a lot of text messages. So you can understand how we're saving you a lot of money, because it takes to get thousands of people that are actually owner operators. It's a lot of money to get them. Um, so anyways, um, even if you're using an aggregate system, I'm not going to get big into how we market and stuff because that's not what we're really doing here. But if you take the course, we will obviously go over marketing and the best avenues. And I've got some ways that I cheat the system to some degree. So, but you do have to sign a totally different clause that everything has to say confidential, because we don't want you affecting our business just because we're helping you. But anyways, how long will it take? Now, if you consistently text and 50 to 100 leads per day, we text over 500 per day, and you're following up with quality conversations, you possibly can expect to secure your first owner operator within 4 to 6 weeks. If you're following what I'm telling you, obviously you can speed this up. Remember, that's the way it works. I find an owner operator, right? And they want to work with me. And we make our deal, right? We got a verbal deal. Now they have to do all the contracts. A lot of these guys don't always have their information readily available to them in their truck. Some of them have to get it from insurance or whatever it is, even though it should be in their permit book. So don't expect that you instantly, hey, let me start dispatching you. And they say yes. And then you're instantly dispatching them in the next 24 hours. It takes a minute, but that's in combination with your ability to actually get them interested, and they do want to convert. They call it conversion, right? You're converting a lead into an actual customer base. So that's what you're looking at. So back to it again. Like I said, your first owner operator would possibly be within 4 to 6 weeks if you're only doing the 50 to 100 leads per day. Okay, you got to pump them out. So when I tell the students, hey, we give you 100 leads at a time, sometimes we don't hear back from them for a week. And then they get upset, like, well, why are we not seeing the overall the productivity of having owner operators. All I can tell you is I'm gonna give it to you like give it to everybody else. You get out of this what you put into it. I know how much we put into it, and I'm not being light or arrogant or nothing about it, but if that's all you're doing, you're gonna have a really hard time. Okay. You got to do what we're telling you. It's not being arrogant, it's not that we know it all. I'm telling you this is a numbers game. This is a numbers game. I don't know how many times I can say that one. But anyways, some dispatchers load their first client within the first 7 to 10 days, especially with strong communications and persistence. And say that strong communications, because this is a social networking and communication industry you're in when you're on this side of the fence. And the quicker you understand that and know how to, so if you've got a hard time speaking, you better get a family member or somebody that's good at sales to knock this out for you. Now, reaching 5 to 7 steady clients can realistically be achieved in 1 to 2 months, depending on your effort and consistency. So you got to put your foot in the game. You can't just sit on the fence and expect this to happen by itself. So my overall, I'll even say opinion. Okay, you need to get a bulk texting software like a VoIP. We use Ring Central. We use Dialpad. We use Nextiva. Um, Obviously, the one I use 100% of the time is I use Ring Central. Some days I'll put out all those ads, and all I can do is see money. Ting, 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 ting. Now, it's not even a penny per each one, right? It's cheap, but you'd be surprised how fast it goes when you're sending out these leads. And it's for per how many characters. So let's say that I send out a message, and let's say that it's 300, 500 characters, right? But that system is charging us for every 160 characters. So when I send out a message, it might represent 3 texts, even though it was only 1 text. I know, I get it. It don't make any sense. How in the hell can it be that way? All these questions go through my mind, and that's exactly what we debate about. But that's the way the system works. It's their business. You need their service, and you have no choice. And the FCC and whoever the hell else with these TCR, it's called a um, it's literally called TCR. I can't believe I couldn't remember. It's called the Campaign Registry. You have to get set up in those, and if you don't have your information in line, then it could take a second to get it lined up. Now, the overall final tip as far as what this goes, now this is a numbers game and a communication game. So you got to add this up. If you get those together, the more consistent, confident, and value driven your outreach is, the faster that you will build your dispatch service and your income. So you got to have those 2 factors. The numbers game, which we provide you the numbers by giving you the leads. We source all the leads that you're going to need. And then your communication game. Um, when you're listening to me, now I do a lot of and huh and whatever because I have to think about things. Mine's as fluent as I am, and as much as I know about this industry, even I have to think about it because I don't want to relay a bad message to you. Even when you're dealing with these owner operators, that's the whole thing. They're going to read through your bullshit with some quickness if you don't have your game together. That's the reason majority of the students that I try to teach is truck drivers, you know. Now, I'm not saying that you can't take somebody that's been in another sales industry and teach them this because, you know, we have other opportunities inside our business that allows you to basically build businesses and we'll actually back you up on them. But that's a one-on-one conversation. And obviously there's contracts that have to be signed for that. I'm a contract person because it keeps me out of the crap. And if I find out who comes back on me, I will take them to court because I've asked you, and asking people to do something these days ain't worth a crap. You have to force the values on them because I was raised in a different time. Our values are a little bit different. Not that I don't slip up, but not like what, you know, haters are a dime a dozen. But when it comes back to these leads, we are giving you all this. In order for you to get those owner operators, you got to stick to these core values to actually make it. Know your truck. I mean, as far as knowing your truck that you're dealing with, ask them the questions so you can get insight to what the owner operator is really striving to do. What kind of equipment does he have? Where does he want to run? What does he normally do on a gross revenue? Now, if he comes up with some bullshit number, and they will come up with some bullshit numbers, they're lying. Okay. Dude, I'm an owner operator too, and I can tell you what I did. I literally just did a video not long ago. It was just short of $10,000, and that's with a step deck. Okay. So if they start rapping off big stupid numbers, well, I got a contract with whoever. Well, I tell you what, you hold that cat's number and you call that company because some of the software that we give you doing a freight dispatching can give you whoever they want to say, whatever company it is or anything. They can't hide. The days of AI are here. You can call them out on lies in a split second. And why they're so prideful, I have no idea. Don't we all need help? Hell, I need help. I mean, not just mentally, right? But I need it financially. So the whole thing behind what we're doing is trying to get these guys to understand that we're here to help them, that we're experienced truck drivers if you are a truck driver, not that whatever your skill set is, use what you have in your hands and don't fake it till you make it. You can't do this with us. This is where you got to understand how we operate as freight dispatchers. But when we're giving you these leads to easily get these owner operators on board, you're going to have to follow what we're going to tell you in our course. This is me just basically telling you the numbers game of what this entails because people's like, well, I don't understand the numbers game. This is the numbers game. I mean, literally, let's recap. I'm going to go over one more time if you want to hear it, but I'm going to tell you right here. Let's start right here. 500 to 1,000. Out of that, right, give me a second. Let me back up to my chart. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So we're talking about 500 to 1,000. Out of that, that's just to get your first 5 to 7. You're going to have a 10 to 15% people that are going to get back with you and have some inkling of interest. Then when you encounter them, now it's your turn to actually talk to them and tell them what you have that makes you so damn special out of the herd of all the dispatchers that are running around, right? Then out of that, maybe 1 to 2%, and tell them the truth. I don't charge if I screw their week up. I don't know. I may have not screwed their week up and I still don't charge it because it just keeps my client. But now, if I know if they were sitting on their ass because I'm looking at their ELD and they shouldn't move, nah, brother, you're paying that because remember, I always have my stuff set up directly. So then I have access to their credit card or their business account because that's part of the agreement. I'm not going to be standing there and not have, a chair to sit in when it's time to settle up. I'm sorry. I would love to trust everybody 100%, but I just can't do it. Been there and done that. Okay. But when you're doing this, be firm about what you are and don't let them spook you. Some of them, they can bark like a damn dog sitting on a porch that's got worms licking its ass all day. I get it. But the thing is, they chose this field to be in transportation. If they want your professional help, then they've got to understand not to lay down and be humble, but to be straightforward and business minded. So people that are not business minded, consider that a red flag and just walk away from them. Because at the end of the day, when I call you, I'll tell you, okay, we got that one dropped off. We do have this one lined up. Can you make this pickup? And we're on a time schedule. Remember, we're held back by ELD. So unless you got a corrupt ELD system where they're willing to take a payoff, they charge you a service fee, right? It's always going to be where it's clear. I've learned that from corruption all around the world. Okay. It's always going to be a clear fee, but it doesn't mean it's no less corruption. So whoever they're dealing with their ELD service, whether they're going to give or whatever on that, if that owner operator really wants you to be able to work him according, he needs to show the clarity and understanding that you need to know. But always protect yourself. CYA for you to know what it is. Cover your butt. Okay. But the whole thing behind this is make sure that you have a clear one-on-one mind understanding and that there's a level of professional respect that you have for each other. Because my job is my owner operators, the guys that I represent right now as a freight dispatcher, is to take care of them. I know everything about every one of my guys. I know about their families. Yeah, they tell me their families' names, their wives' names, and their kids' names. I sure the hell don't remember them. I'm a visual person. When I was a paramedic, if I saw you laying on the street, you could have been covered in blood and coughing it out your mouth and everything else. But if I saw you again on the street, I swear I don't know what it was. I know you. Hey, aren't you the guy that got run over by the boat and your own boat prop chewed your whole hip up and that big piece of prop was sticking out your hip? No, well, how do you remember that? Dude, I don't know. I just remember your face. Something about the details of your face. Maybe it's your aura. I don't know. But I remember. I may not remember your name, but I got that. So when you're talking to these guys, remember as much as you about them as you can. That in that way, it's a level of respect. It's unspoken. Maybe people don't know that's what it is, but it's an overall level of respect that you're listening to them. Active listening, you know, like they say, two ears, one mouth, listen twice as much as you speak. So ensure that you're listening to what your guys or your clients or your prospective owner operators are saying to you and make sure you can fit those needs. And try to stick to one style of trailer. When you start out, you might be doing more than one type of trailer because you need to get your 5 to 7 owner operators up so you're generating enough revenue so you don't have to go back to the truck if that's the given situation. But anyways, I'm gonna kind of end it there. I'm getting off on a rant because, you know, I don't want this not to be clear to you on what this really takes to get your owner operators. It needs to be straightforward. I don't hide nothing, and the transparency behind what I do at Truck Driver Nation is that we don't want you guessing when you're going to actually become successful at this. Remember, it's like a garden. You got to till the ground, hoe the rows, put the seeds in it, and then whether you're watering them by hand or let Mother Nature water them, you got to give it time. Just stay steady. This is 100%. You will be successful. I know people say, well, the market's low. Don't let that intimidate you. It depends on that organization's setup on how they're actually doing freight. If people were not making money, the trucks would still not be on the road. So don't let people deceive your mindset and control which direction that you're seeing what's going on. Okay. And that's your choice because I can't be there to motivate you every second of every day, as far as even my students. You've got to take this by the horns and drag that damn bull down the interstate. I don't care what it takes. That's what makes an American because we don't let the word no be a factor in our overall success. We have to step back, be objective, don't always be subjective, and make a different game plan. And you just keep going at it. I promise you, the wall will break down. Okay. So, anyways, we'll leave it at this. This is what it comes to actually sourcing your owner operators, being successful, getting your 5 to 7 owner operators lined up for you as a freight dispatch service so you can help them be successful and you be successful at the same time. Anyways, everybody about the road, please be safe. My contact information is below. Like or subscribe. Please leave me your comments or your questions. I will address them as quickly as possible. But anyways, thank you for your time. Thank you for visiting Truck Driver Nation. Make sure to visit our website, truckdrivernation.com. Singular truck, singular driver, singularnation.com. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.